Welcome back to RatAttack!
Oh my god.
We're goblins today!
I'm what's that one band like Leonard Skinner, you know, where like
Who?
Leonard Skinner or
Leonard Skinnerd?
I don't think that's right.
What a stupid name.
No, just shut up. I'm trying to make a point. But it's like that band that made Freebird and they're always like
Kind of.
or you know, they just have songs like that, like Aerosmith or one of those old 80s bands. Oh my god, shut up, lady. And they always just sound like that. It's like, yeah, I was walking to the supermarket.
Yeah, okay, I know what you're talking about now.
I bought cabbages.
At first I was like, I have no idea what you're yapping about.
Old rock songs, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, what's the other one?
What?
I'm trying to think of the other songs that do that.
Yeah, it's whatever that band is, but I can't remember their name.
Yeah.
Maybe Garth Brooks.
Toby Maguire.
Garth Brooks is a band or a guy who sings, I thought.
Yeah, he is.
I always think Garth Brooks, and it just makes me think of Darth Vader.
I was just about to say that. Darth Brooks.
Darth Brooks. He's the evil country singer.
Ooh. What do we got in here, bro? Server equipment. Is this where the power outage happened, you think?
No, this is for servers, stupid.
Well, didn't it say electric room upstairs?
No.
Coming down here?
You have dyslexia. I
wonder-
diagnose you.
Okay, what did it actually say then?
Electrical room.
Electrical room.
Yeah, your dyslexia made you see it differently.
Something about this is backwards, I think. I wonder what this device is. It's way bigger than what we saw in the lab.
That's what she said. It's probably a machine for recording research logs, right? There's no way I could find out right now. Let's look elsewhere.
Yeah, see, here's the electricity. Big red button. Did anyone tamper with this?
I peed on it earlier, but I don't know if that has anything to do with the outage.
Looks like the lab.
Why is it covered in urine?
What?
If this
Nothing.
was shut down, there'd be a power outage in the lab.
All of the power to the lab seems to be managed.
That's not what he
here.
said.
All the power.
Wait.
Oh.
I don't see a switchboard for Dr. Weska's
His
lab.
operates off of separate power.
That reminds me. Dr. Weska
He-
said the critical
he
lab was
generates
on an
it.
independent system.
He rides a little hamster wheel all
Yeah, there
day.
you go. I was trying to find something funny, and all I could come up with was he generates it.
He generates.
That's all I got.
This critical lab operates on a separate power system that obviously includes its security measures.
Okay.
Well, it obviously didn't do that good of a job.
I see.
That was a rather indifferent response from Vivia.
Maybe he's bored with the investigation?
Huh. The
I would
critical lab
think-
security system operates on a separate power. Yeah, I know.
You don't need the outside or the power to get in. You needed to cut this power off to get in, but not the other power.
Yeah.
Or maybe they just didn't realize that, and it was a little bit of an oopsie.
You can do it, Master!
They're like, shoot, I'm really screwing up this Hitman thing.
I would love if that's like the whole case where it's like the dude just had a really bad day at killing someone.
But he had like really good luck in the end.
Yeah, so it's like, oh, the toxic thing didn't go off. What are the odds of that, you know? Like, oh, I would love a murder like that.
Holy crap, the gas didn't come out. I'm so lucky.
If he just like walked in, it's like,
It's
yo,
really
we just
true.
didn't notice him walk by us.
Here.
Was it before or after the blackout?
That is not a practical gas mask.
Right after the blackout.
Why not?
Look at it. What does it connect to? It just goes back to your own face.
It's. Have you seen real like gas masks?
Yeah, they always have a part that sticks out for the filter.
He's got the filters.
No, he doesn't. Where?
It's on the side right there.
It's connected to his cheeks. It's just one
It's
big
a super gas mask.
He's just breathing his own air. He's gonna suffocate.
You don't understand the advanced Amaterasu technology going on in this gas mask right now.
I understand the bad design.
You ever see, like, you know how, like, if you join the military, a lot of times they'll make you do the, like, gas chamber thing?
No, maybe, kinda.
Oh, you haven't? Well, I think it just depends what branch you join and what you're going into, but a lot of times they'll gas you for real, and then they'll make you, like, it's part of the, like, gas mask training and, like, doing it properly and stuff. But I think at one point they will, like, just straight up gas you and make you deal with it. With, like, I think it's, like, similar to tear gas, basically.
Would you? Oh, okay. Here's the question I have for you then.
Okay.
This is kind of an outward there question, but it reminded me of this.
It's gonna be nothing related. What's your favorite My Little Pony?
No. It's about like pain and stuff. Okay.
Okay.
So I was playing the Hogwarts Legacy game because I got that a little bit ago. It's pretty fun.
It was on sale.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
And in it there's a spell called like Crucio or something.
Okay.
Which is like unimaginable pain for a little while that you go through. If you had the offer to just like try that and you had to deal with it for like 10 seconds, would you?
Why would I?
Why not? You don't. That could just be interesting information to have.
Like,
okay, that's the limits of pain, and that really hurt, but it's only 10 seconds, so I'm good now. Like, it's the same thing with like the gas mask. Like, if someone said,
on one hand, I'd want to say yes because I feel like it'd make me have a mental tolerance for all other pain the rest of my life.
Right.
And on the other hand, it might be so much worse than I ever imagined that it'd like literally traumatize me, and I'd get like PTSD from any future pain I receive.
Okay, well, I what about like with the gas or the gas chamber thing?
What about it?
If it was just like, hey, Gage, you can go do this. You just gotta be in there for like 5 minutes, and you don't get anything. It's just you can do this if you want.
I mean, if I wanted to join the military, sure, but
you wouldn't just do that if it was offered. I'd try it.
you have fun with that. You ever see how, like, I've seen the video where they like come out, they're like, and they like throw up and they're like crying and it's like terrible.
I'll chill.
Yeah, I'll chill.
I'll bring some bags, put some oxygen in some Walmart sacks. I'll be fine.
I feel like that's not healthy.
Well, I don't think you go into the military with life expectancy in mind.
Yeah, so why would I do it if I'm not going to be in life-threatening conditions
I don't
anyway?
know. Just say it's like, yeah, I got gassed one time. It sucked, but at least I can say I've done it. Like a bucket list thing. You
If
know?
I have a bucket list, I'm gonna go skydiving. I'm gonna like go see like a cruise or something. I'm not gonna gas myself for 5 minutes. And it's not just
such a boring bucket list. I want to go on a big boat and see the ocean.
It's not just the 5 minutes. When you're out of the gas chamber, you're still suffering from it for a bit.
It's part of the excitement.
It's not 5 minutes and you're done. It's like 20 minutes of like 15 minutes after it is still like gradual torture that just turns less and less.
That's fine. I like being in those situations. It's always interesting.
You literally cried your eyeballs out when you like slightly twisted your foot and you were fine the next day.
I was not fine the next day, for the record. And I was not crying my eyeballs out. But I don't know.
What was it? It was like the other episode. You like flicked yourself on the hand when you were trying to open your water bottle, and you're like, "God dang it, that hurt!" Ow!
It was because I like pushed my nail really deep into my finger, and I usually let my nails grow out a little longer than I should.
I don't know. You always talk like, "Yeah, I don't mind pain that much," and then every time you're in a little bit of pain, it's always like, "Gosh,
I have a bad response to it, but I always think it's interesting.
Doesn't mean I hate it though.
No, it doesn't. That's not what that means. But like when I like broke my like wrist, like it's kind of interesting how it feels as it hurts a lot and then gets better as time goes on. Or like when you're really sick, I think like I hate stomach sicknesses. But I always think the like relief of like throwing up every 10 seconds when you're really sick is really interesting. Cause like those like for like a good 5 minutes after you throw up, or not even, it's like a minute. Like you feel so like clean. And then you get sick and you throw up again and you just keep going through the loop. So it's like that kind of logic where it's like I don't really want to deal with that, especially not like when you're sick for hours on end and constantly barfing.
But it's like, find it unpleasant?
Well, yeah, but it's also relaxing a little bit. Like here's the thing. If I could just like throw up every time I had a little bit of a stomach ache and get rid of it, I would. Because that relief that comes after throwing up where you've got it out of your system is so nice.
See,
so what I'm saying is...
I get what you're saying. Your stomach usually will feel better temporarily after you throw up.
Or just for good if it's something that bad.
If it's like just something bad you ate, usually it's gone right away. If it's like an actual stomach bug you have, then it'll probably stay. I also hate the mess. I hate the horrible smell that just fills your nose, and you have to like blow your nose. You gotta like spit and like drink some water a few times to get the taste out of your mouth.
Do you ever have you ever been so sick where like whenever you like I had a sickness one time, whenever I ate anything or drank anything, I'd barf it up right away.
Really?
So I was like super dehydrated, but I couldn't keep anything down. So I was like, I remember I woke up in like the middle of the night and I was like dying of thirst. I was like sleeping on the couch because I could barely drag myself to my room, and it was just closer access to like everything, you know?
Yeah.
So I just woke up in the middle of the night and I'm like, screw it, I don't care. So I just downed like a whole glass of water. And then like 10 seconds later, like it wasn't even like warmed up by my stomach yet.
It came out cold.
Like it came out like cold and refreshing, and it's almost as nice coming up as it was going down. Which was such a weird experience. Because like, you know when you like drink water, you like feel more hydrated just by having it in your throat.
Yeah.
And like in all rights, it shouldn't have done anything by that point. You know what I mean?
Right. You're making me thirsty.
I know, I'm kind of want some
Weirdly
water
enough.
too. See if it's as good coming up as it is going down. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just a bit of a masochist with it, but I just think it's an interesting experience. And like it'd be cool to just experience like absolute pain for a little bit with none of the consequence.
I mean, I'm not saying it's a hard no, but I wouldn't do it for nothing.
I'll give you 3 pennies.
I would need like something from it, you know? Either it'd be like a requirement like where I work, like the military, or
For your job now.
for my job now.
For being a whatever, you have to go through a gas chamber for 5 minutes.
You know, it'd be more tolerable than some of the people I deal with. So anyway, where the heck is Vivia?
When the lights went out, so I came here.
He's around
to
the
turn
corner.
Power back on, and I saw a dark silhouette pass right through the shadows.
That's scary.
That doesn't really tell me much.
Please believe me, it must have been the hitman.
Why do they even bother investigating?
Yeah, these guys don't care, do they?
I mean, they already said it's them.
So
Oh, he looks like he's looking at me.
was wandering around here right after the blackout.
Does that mean it was
Okay.
caused by the hitman? Why would he do that?
Why would anyone else do that besides the hitman? Okay.
Right after the blackout. Yes.
Oh, he actually has something to say. What do you think about all
Sorry
this?
about threatening you with the blade earlier.
I was so scared. I thought you were going to kill me. You weren't.
No, he
serious,
was.
Yeah, he
were you?
was definitely serious.
Why wouldn't I be?
Huh?
To tell the truth, I wouldn't know if I'd actually slash your throat until I was about to do it.
Okay.
Although
That's honestly
there's
better
a
than
good
what I
chance
thought.
Laura and the others would stop me.
So, you were serious?
I don't want to kill anyone if possible. I don't like seeing blood. But yes, I was serious.
This guy is dangerous.
Yeah.
Now
my God.
kiss.
Yep,
Huh?
Use the
I said
stairs
now
to-
kiss.
Now kiss. He'd have to like bend over so much.
We can fly. We're ghosts.
That's true.
Just fly up to his little lips.
Little Spider-Man kiss. I could go upside down.
Why do we have to go
Chief
upside
Yago
down?
was attacked in this hallway.
So this is interesting. There's like a drag mark a little bit.
He became a plant.
So he was facing this way.
He was trying to photosynthesize so he could survive.
Was he being pulled away? And then he like got stabbed here, got dragged a little bit this way.
I don't know. The drag is really thin. It must not have been that big of a bleed at first.
Yeah. Yeah. Did we see like how many stab wounds he had? I thought we could only really determine one.
The gory bloodstains are
Well, the
still
one
here.
guy had 3,
From Chief Yago.
so maybe they gave Yako 3 too. Like they stabbed him once when he was against those plants, and then he's like, "Oh well, you know, rule of 3, I got to do that because I'm Fink the Solder Bro,"
Maybe.
and then stabbed him 2 more times.
This is where he was attacked by the hitman. Damn it all! If I'd only gotten here earlier, I could have changed his fate.
I could have gotten stabbed with him.
Yeah, there's not much you could do.
Did you see the hitman's face?
No, not clearly.
Then how do you know it was the hitman?
Because Chief Yago said so himself.
How did Chief Yako know?
How did he know?
How did he know?
Think.
Okay, looking at him,
Artist.
there's blood on his fingertips, which makes sense because he was probably clutching at his wound.
Is it on the palms of his hand though?
Can't really see.
It'd be weird to only have it on the fingertips.
Right. Can't really tell from here. He's got blood on his mouth, which makes sense. It's running down his pant leg, so he probably got stabbed while standing up. Not much else is discernible. Can we remember what the knife looked like?
There's a Barbie knife.
A what?
Barbie.
A Barbie knife.
He has a Barbie knife.
Also, the knife which
Okay, it
was used
did
to
have an
stab
F.
Chief Yako has an
Was there
F
blood on
inscribed
it?
in
Doesn't look like there's blood on it.
The murder weapon always used by Fink, the
I
slaughter.
don't remember. Now I want to like go back and look, but is that cheating?
You know about it?
I mean, when you're editing, it isn't.
I already edited that episode.
I did some research after we got that note from the killer. I am still a detective.
That was like an hour ago.
He uses his knife to prove to his clients that
Maybe
he
just fell asleep in
committed
the
murder.
car.
Yeah, maybe.
Setting that aside,
Then what? Just
you
run
think these
alongside it. Oh
bloodstains
no,
are?
where'd my body go?
Well, you know, he looks around, does whatever,
Yeah.
and then flies back to the body.
You can probably fly pretty quick, I imagine.
You're right. There are some strange marks, like something brushed against it.
Oh, on the vent a little bit? Is that what they're saying? I was not listening.
You know, it could be related to the vent, because there's that tiny little vent you can squeeze. I mean, you can't squeeze through.
They said, like, the shadow went into the wall. So what if he could just travel along the vents as, like, a shadow man?
What shadow went along what?
Well, the lady said,
Oh,
like,
the one in the electrical room?
it was like a shadowy silhouette, or whatever she said. So maybe he can, like, travel through vents or something.
Okay, genuinely, part of me does think it could be like a shrinking and growing power. A little bit.
And maybe by turning off the power, he would turn off whatever, like, fans and stuff are going on in the vents that would swoop him up if he is a shadow.
In the air thing
Yeah.
for the toxic, that would honestly make a lot of sense. But shouldn't that be on a separate power?
Well, maybe the traps are, but not the vents themselves.
Maybe.
We'd have to find out. But if he is,
That would make a
think of it.
lot of sense. How
If-
would he get through the toxic gas chamber, though?
if he can turn into a shadow, so he could just go through the vent. I'm sure it's all connected through the same filtration system. So if you can just, I'm Shadow Man. You ever play Dishonored 2?
Which vent? The one in the
Just
panel room?
Yeah, everything along there. I'm sure they're all connected.
Maybe.
But it's like a power in Dishonored 2. You turn into a shadow creature and you crawl around. So it's
The
like
more
that.
and more we investigate, the more and more supernatural it does look.
Yeah.
Because, especially that little... But then who was the guy walking away the other direction?
He got full shadow dish, but he got rid of the shadow.
Did he, like, take off his coat
To blend in.
while he was in the vent and you just see a tiny little coat down there?
No, but I mean, like, I don't know. He threw off his assassin coat thing and then just went to blend in so he could leave easier.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm sure his clothes turned
Yes, at the
shadowy too.
time. I don't think it's odd for a mark like this to be here.
look closer. This mark appears to have been made with someone's bloody fingertip.
Oh, like they were writing something.
Is it a dying message?
Could the chief have done it?
Which part?
Was
Zoom
he
in on
trying
the
to
part
tell
you're
us
talking about.
something?
Looks like
Yeah.
a fingertip.
No. It's more like he was trying to reach for something, rather than write out words.
What could he have been reaching for?
Fink, he was tiny down there.
Maybe it's that house plant over there.
You know, I don't even want to say it's impossible.
I know.
Because with the tiny, tiny vents...
It might be a real Honey I shrunk down and expanded in Huesca's butt to kill him or something, you know? One of them.
And why are his shoes missing?
Whose shoes?
Oh, you know what?
What?
Oh my... Okay, honestly, this stupid shrinking and growing theory is starting to make, like, a lot of sense. If he's hiding in the air vent, in the airlock room, right? The robot comes in, he, like, places his shoe on top of the robot and shrinks down inside of it, and he's riding the shoe on top of the robot. And then he grows once we go through the door, and then, you know, tips it over, and then he jumps up, shrinks into the vent. But then, I guess, how does he even kill the guy? Because he was dead before we went in there.
We're gonna, like, see the real answer, and it's gonna be like...
Yeah, I don't know. This is getting a little far-fetched.
I don't know if he might. My vote's Shadow Monster, honestly.
Shadow or shrinking or something that lets him go through vents. It'd make a lot of sense with this blood stain thing.
Right.
Which part did they say looks like fingertips? Because
I think it's that streak right there. It might be that. He's trying to reach toward the vent.
parts of it kind of do. It more looks like a coat got dragged or something to me.
Maybe there's something
Yeah.
about this plant. Oh, Vivia! Something's hidden behind the pot!
A tiny little man!
Photo
It's a little dude.
What the heck? Okay, well, there's blood on it.
Isn't this the map of this lab?
map?
I've had it in my
Why
bottom
would there
right
be a
this
map
entire
here?
time.
As for the photo, I have no
Is
idea.
that's Yako? Look, you can see the little blue hair sticking underneath that little bit of blood right there.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can see his like the same chin and smile shape.
It almost looks like you can see a little bit of the tattoo around the V part of his collar.
Do you think this is the thing he's always looking at on his like coat?
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe
Is that
the-
his girlfriend that died or something, you think?
Maybe. He said it's almost like a lover. Oh, do you think she was a scientist at this lab? Because look, she's wearing a lab coat looking thing.
Oh!
Maybe that's how he knew some stuff about this place beforehand or something. I don't know.
The
Okay.
photo shows a young man and a woman. The woman looks like she's wearing a lab coat. Is she a researcher here?
But she died.
The man is
Oh,
covered
no.
with blood. I can't see his face very well.
It's Yako.
Yeah.
You keep
No doubt in my mind.
staring at that photo. Did you fall in love with the woman? You really fall for every girl.
God, you gotta shut up, lady.
I'm just checking for clues.
This is a clue?
Vivian, do you think she's pretty?
Photo?
Do you think I have a chance?
I don't. But it has to be a clue. This bloodstain was made by Chief Yako as he tried to hide this behind the pot.
Okay, so if Yako was hiding this,
He left this clue and made sure the culprit didn't find it.
By using the last of his dying strength?
He's not dead!
yet.
Probably is that. What's that? It looks like a big vent around this bottom.
Huh?
What's that on the bottom of the map? That looks like a sub-layer or something you'd see, you know?
I don't know.
Whenever you look at blueprints.
A photo of a young man and a woman, but it's definitely Yako. I know this.
Yeah.
I know this for sure.
I agree, unless it's wrong.
It looks just like him. He has the same skinny chin. The same
Same
smoker dad vibes.
Punchable face.
Yeah, or kissable. Depends
It's
on
up-
my mood.
It's up to you.
What room is this? It seems to be locked.
The bathroom.
I told you, it's just storage. They keep it locked up because there are some confidential documents inside. Among us researchers,
I'm gonna go
we
in
treat it
there
as
and violate
perpetually
HIPAA
sealed off.
regulations.
HIPAA. I hate HIPAA.
Unlock it right now. We need to see if the detectives are hiding inside.
How have they not
The
found
only
them yet?
key is
Genuinely,
held by
they're
the
just in the most
peacekeeper's
obvious
director.
room. You can. It has a window, doesn't it?
Hold on. The
Maybe
only
it doesn't have
keys
a window.
held by Yomi Smile guy. Hell Smile.
Okay.
Interesting.
I don't need it.
Dr. Yomi
So
has it? Aren't there any other keys?
No. The Peacekeeper's director personally manages this area, so he has the only key.
I see.
All right.
Guess we don't need to look inside. This conversation never happened.
Right.
Maybe there's a cube in there.
I really want to see the cube.
I want to see the cube too.
I want to see more than one. I want to
Has
see
the
like a
key to
bunch
this
of cubed people.
That'd be kind of
There's
cool.
gotta be
Did you see
some
that
kind of
Minecraft
secret.
movie trailer?
Yeah, with like Jack Black. Like that just looks like a crappier Jumanji.
I have not seen the trailer, but I've seen the screenshots, and my god, what were they thinking?
Money.
Make it an animated movie. No one wants Jack Black as Steve.
You know, I genuinely do love Jack Black. He has a lot of just awesome projects that I've really enjoyed. Like Kung Fu Panda. I didn't see that latest movie, but all of them are great, you know?
Yeah.
And like I really liked when he had his like Jablinski Games channel going on or whatever. That was kind of a cool gimmick, but it's like I feel like now he's being like I think typecast is the word.
Is this movie his like doing?
Well,
Or
he's
is he
in
just
it.
an actor?
That's what I mean. I just think he's like being put in all these movies that aren't really good fits for him.
Oh.
It's just like, oh, Jack Black is the silly guy, but he like resembles Steve in no way at all. He didn't like shave. He just looks like Jack Black in like a teal t-shirt.
Yeah.
It just and then like Jason Momoa, like
Who's he playing?
I don't know, some dude. He's just some dude because there's like four. I think
Is
it's like
the plot the kids get put into Minecraft?
I think it's like a Jumanji type plot where ragtag misfits get put. It's not only kids. There's like two kids, and then Jason Momoa, who's like this huge buff dude with like silky, like kind of girlyish long hair, you know.
Oh my god.
And then like some other person I didn't recognize.
Just make an animated movie. You can have the same people voice it. Have Jack Black voice Steve for all I care.
You know
right?
the people you need to bring on for those, like a movie like that?
Who?
The type of people who made like those old Minecraft movies.
Yeah, that'd be what's popular.
Right, like if
Get
you
like Captain Sparkles in there.
like
Get-
with the he made that one like Fallen Kingdom like trilogy thing.
Yeah.
Make a movie off of that or something. People would kill to see that. There's so much like nostalgia and like art you could bank off there, especially if you bring him on as like a creative director and actually
don't make
feature
the graphics so like ugly realistic, you know? Keep them cute. You can make it more than like what default Minecraft looks like, but
Right.
don't make it this weird realistic abomination.
You literally have like a million different Minecraft animations to go off of for
Yeah.
what it could look like.
People loved those. I love those. Those were my childhood.
Yeah, I loved watching like what's the song? It's like "Don't Fear the Night" or stuff like that. You know?
Creeper? Oh man!
Like there's a
back in the mines,
you know with those videos on their own, they could have. There's so much potential there.
Yeah.
For the movie, like do like a Lego movie type thing. Yeah, something like that, something cute.
Yeah, that would be way better.
You know, but instead it's like
I don't think mixing live action with it is
the call.
The call, no.
Not for the full movie. Like for a cameo, I could see that. Or like a quick thing. But it's like
But
I don't
I'd say
know.
definitely more like Lego movie style or like.
I don't understand Jack Black for Steve. Steve should have been the most like basic white man sounding person you could possibly find.
You could make Jack Black like one of the villagers.
Make him like the Ender Dragon or something. I don't know. You made him Bowser already, and I heard he actually did a good job with that.
Yeah.
But it's like, that whole Minecraft, I watched the trailer, it just looks so like...
You could make LeBron James the Enderman.
I've heard LeBron James kind of sucks.
Oh, does he? I don't know anything about LeBron James. Why does he suck?
I've heard he's a real jerk to like... Whenever he like goes out to eat like to servers and like just anyone who like works for him, I've heard.
I mean, yeah, dude, he's LeBron James.
That's what he thinks too.
I know. I don't know. Do you think if you were to be like rich and famous or like some super celebrity for any reason,
okay,
and you had like more money and power and fame and wealth and you knew what to do with, do you think you would become snobby and jerky and mean?
You know, that's a really good question, and it's a hard one to answer because it reminds me of like that saying where it's like absolute power corrupts absolutely. You know, and I think that's a really good saying because it just makes sense. Like it
sounds cool.
It does sound cool too. I'm kind of the mind where it's like you could not achieve status like that without doing some bad things.
It depends what it is.
I more mean like for billionaires and stuff.
Yeah.
Like you can't have like these billion-dollar corporations and then not have done some pretty terrible things to get there.
I agree. I agree with you for like a lot of business owners and stuff is probably 99% of the time going to be the case, and like especially politicians, because if a politician has a lot of money,
right,
that's shady.
But for e-celebs, it's harder to say.
Well, and also for like sports players, because I mean, you can play any sport, get famous, and not have to do anything bad. You just do sponsorships and play games, you know.
Right. I like to think. I'm sure if I had that much money, there is a level of comfort I'd get used to, and I'd definitely be annoyed if that was interrupted. So if like I'm sure if I was like rich, I'd probably like I'd love to have like an indoor pool, for example.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to have my own pool to myself. That'd be cool. Good exercise, swimming's fun, whatever.
Right.
So if like for example, for some reason that pool was taken away from me by whatever person, I'd probably be pretty annoyed with that person. Versus now, that situation would never happen. Like I could see how like entitlement grows.
I guess I'm more asking like random like waitresses at a restaurant and stuff. Like they get your order wrong. Do you think you'd become entitled where you're like, oh, stupid waitress? Blah, 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 blah.
I don't see why, because even now that like doesn't bother me that much.
Yeah.
Like I was vegetarian for a little while, and we went to a diner place, and they like messed it up so bad. Like I could see the bacon on there.
No.
Yeah, I even said like, please no meat on it, and there was like it was filled with stuff. I assume it's just a mistranslation, and it wasn't like I wasn't like furious or anything. I was annoyed, and I think that's everyone has a right to be annoyed at stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, I was just like, can I just get this right? And they're like, yeah. And then I did. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. But I don't know.
I think there would be parts where it's just easy to forget how... So, like, for an example,
Yeah.
at the place we work, I started bottom of the bottom as you can get. I was like, I was everyone's B word, right? I was the bottom of the rung, you know?
Right.
And then I got to a point, didn't even take me that long, where I was like, I was the brass all of a sudden, you know?
Yeah.
And you can feel a little bit, I would have to remind myself sometimes, like, the position that I used to be, that I started as, the way I interacted with them sometimes, you know, I tried to be very, very nice and like respectful. And honestly, I think I was very, very liked in the position I was in.
Every time I heard someone talk about you, because I don't think it hurts to say you were just managing people.
Yeah.
Like, we can just say that.
Yeah.
But I never heard anyone have any negative things about you. I think some people thought you had a little bit of a stick up your butt. I heard that sometimes.
What do you mean, a stick up my butt?
Like,
oh no, the
strict maybe, but not like super strict. Just like, I think sometimes people just got annoyed when they get instructions.
Well, that's fair, but
that's
they
also
can't
like
stand around and do nothing either.
Right. That's what I mean. That's the only time I ever heard negative feedback about you.
Right.
And I like to ask too. I thought, what do you guys think of Gage as a manager?
I don't think you've ever told me that before.
I mean, it wasn't a big deal. It was just like, he like stopped me from talking to my friend. I didn't like that. And I remember thinking like, well, you're at work, so too bad, so sad.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I think I was still on the more chill side.
Yeah, like I said,
I wasn't sitting here cracking the whip on everyone exactly.
That was like one person I heard that from. I think everyone else loved you as a manager. And
plus,
looking at some of the
it was
managers,
a little hard at the time because the manager right above me was an a-hole, and he wanted me to like crack the whip on everyone. You know,
wait, which one was that? Oh, okay, yeah. I wasn't sure if that's who you're talking about or not.
Yeah, and anyway...
Yeah, I know what you mean, though.
He was a jerk, and so there were times he made me, like, get strict with it, and I probably would have been even, like, more chill than I was if it was anyone else but him.
Right, but, you know...
But he would come around, and he'd see one person standing around, and, oh my god, you are the stupidest frickin' person on the planet for not telling them what to do right this frickin' second.
I know.
He'd get angry, he'd get vulgar.
Genuinely, like... You know, I try not to be hateful. I still am with some people. I won't even deny it.
Yeah.
There are some people I really, really do not like on a deeply personal level. But that's more personal stuff anyways. It's not like coworkers. But I just genuinely don't like that guy. Just, yeah. I have really nothing positive to say other than I like it when he's not at work. That's probably the most positive moment I've had.
My overall point for what I was trying to bring up anyway was... While I do still think I was very, like, just polite and whatever with most people, as long as they were just cooperative, there is kind of a degree that you start to forget the thoughts and feelings that some of these people have, you know? Like, even when I was in that bottom rung of this job place, right, I still had a lot of my own personal thoughts and feelings and things I liked, things I didn't like, and it's easy to forget that when you move up a couple rings.
Okay, well, there's one thing I want to interrupt you on. God. This was so funny. So, okay, this will make you laugh, but it was one complaint I got reminded of.
I was like 2 seconds away from wrapping up my point.
Sorry, go ahead. You wrap it up, and then I'll say it. You go ahead.
Okay. I'm just saying it's easy to forget the thoughts and feelings that people below you have, because even if you're moving up the rung, and all of a sudden your job gets harder, or you're dealing with more things, more people, maybe you're dealing with more money, and this can go for like a lot of things. This can go for celebrities or politicians or entrepreneurs or whatever, but it's really, really, really easy to forget the negative emotions of like people below you just because you think they're dealing with less than you are. So I do think it's easy to become a little bit entitled for yourself.
Okay.
When all of a sudden you are a step or two above other people. But just
I can see the logic there.
Try not to forget, you know, these are real human beings and the things they're dealing with are emotional too, even if they don't seem anywhere near the scale your problems are.
Yeah, I was just going to say, there was one time...
Say your funny thing.
So, there was like way back then when you were doing that stuff.
So I'm not doing that anymore, screw that.
Right, yeah, I wouldn't either, it sounded miserable. And so many times Gage would be like, I had to wake up at like 5 o'clock this morning. I'm like, no thanks.
Nah, it's like 4.
Well, there you go. But there was a really short girl that worked. And from what I understand, like, it was kind of an unofficial thing where it's like the managers would never send the shorter people to go do grunt work. Like they always kind of got to like stay inside the building. I don't want to.
Who
Like,
are you referring to? Okay.
you remember her? But anyways, so I don't like want to say too much, but there is a unequivocal grunt work task that just involves physical labor.
Yeah.
And one time I remember Gage, I guess Gage like sent her to do that one night when like no one ever would send her to do that. So
That's equality, baby.
It was like it is equality, but I remember like looking at her and she was struggling so much with something like so many other people have down to a T.
Yeah.
And I asked one of the other people inside about it, and they were like, "Yeah, she never does that. I don't know why Gage had her do that." And I'm like, I mean, it makes sense. It does her job, but it's interesting seeing like, I guess that bias against like a short girl working in play.
I am not biased.
That's what I mean. Not biased. You
I'm
had
a man
but, like,
of equality, baby. You
But
get out there and you work.
I never heard of other managers sending her to do stuff like that. So that's just where it kind of got me a little bit. But
okay, the people I did have bias towards was because it is a physical labor task. Was usually people who were of heavier weight. So it had nothing to do with height. I didn't even care if it was a boy or a girl, but I did feel bad sending people who were heavy set. I'd still have them go out there and do it, but definitely never for as long, you know?
yeah, I can feel that.
But, no,
Though-
yeah, I think I was... I don't even know. I did not care about that stuff at all, though. I would ask, like, hey, can you go do that?
Right, no, I know. But I'll share one story, and then I'll probably just end the episode because it's almost 40 minutes.
Almost.
But, and it's about, like, power tripping. And, like, a time I did it really badly.
Oh, you power tripped?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever told you about this, but...
You're cruel.
It's, like, so long ago. There was a period a long, long time ago when my dad moved in with this family. Because I'm not going to go into specifics because it's none of your business. But he's taking some time to get on his feet, okay? And, you know, I'd visit my dad on weekends and whenever else, there happened to be time. And this family, it was a guy and a girl and 2 kids who were also guys and girls. A boy and a girl, I'll just say. And the parents would work pretty often. But Dad, you know, he was just like, he was there most of the time. You know, I don't think he was really working at the time, so he was just, like I said, getting on his feet. And basically, it was like, hey, Dad, I won't say his name, is in charge. You know, if he tells you to do something, do something. And Dad would say, hey, Ethan's in charge, I'm going to go chill out or whatever. You know? So then when it came time to like, oh, well, here's the chores that have to get done today, I would do none of the chores.
Really?
I wouldn't do one of them. And I would like try and divvy it up and be like, okay, this is how you have to do it, guys. Despite the fact that I was like a year younger than one of them and like a little bit older than the girl. And it was, I don't like genuinely, my memory of like anything prior to like senior year is pretty much gone. So I can't like say things for sure on how it was, but I do know I was pretty like power tripping there. Whether that was like visibly apparent to those kids, or
so
if
you
it
made
was,
the other 2 kids who were living with you do all the chores and you
it was
did nothing.
It was their house too. Like I made like, because you know it was like Ethan's in charge, and I'm like, I guess I'm in charge. I'm the boss.
How did you get put in charge when it's their house?
Because Dad was the only adult, and I was Dad's kid, so I got the executive privilege there.
Your dad's dumb.
It was a weird time back then.
Yeah.
But also, like, I won't lie, my dad is just heavily biased towards me and everything and anything at all. Like, just, like, no shame. Like, yeah, if it comes to me or a million people, he'll pick me.
I mean, that's fair.
Hey, yeah, I don't really, like, think that's the bad perspective to have as a father.
Yeah.
But my point is I think, like, I've been there, and I've, like, reflected on that and been like, yikes, you know?
Yeah.
And
if I was one of those other kids living with you, I'd be like, what a douchebag.
Right. And I think back then, that was probably when I was in my, like, biggest, like, douchebag era. 'Cause there was just so much stuff going on, like, personal life-wise, that I can see very easily how it happened. But I think that gave me some good insight on, like, I don't really want to do that again. So now, like, I don't really hold people to blame anymore if they screw up, because I screw up all the time, and I know what it's like to like be under some idiot's thumb because I was that idiot. like the other day, I was delivering some prescriptions to my uncle. That's a whole thing on its own. And some dude, like, I pretty much, like, I almost killed the guy. So I was driving forward, and some guy comes flying out of an alley on his bike. And it was raining, so I assume he just lost control. And, like, I hear him, like, bounce off, like, the bottom tires of the car, you know? Mm-hmm. And, like, feel it. And I was saying this to you earlier when we were eating, and, like, I got out, and immediately was like, oh, my God, are you okay? I did not think about, like, the state of the car or anything. Uh-huh. And you told me, and I thought this was really interesting, you were like, I probably would have been annoyed, like, for a second, because I don't want damage to the car.
That's not what I said.
You said something like that.
I said that's... Okay, what I said is, the guy, because you said he was all, like, worried and panicky and stuff, right? I said if I were the guy, I would be worried.
Oh,
because I thought you would be mad I damaged the car, you know?
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't care about the car. I'd be worried about the guy, too, in that situation.
Okay, the way you phrased that had me thinking, like, your first gut instinct is like, oh, I hope my car's okay.
No, I don't care about the car. In that case, I'm going to be like, did I just kill a guy?
Okay. Well, I apologize. I misunderstood that.
No, I don't care about the car. That makes me sound terrible. Why didn't you call me out on it when I said that?
Well, I thought that's understandable.
Oh.
If, like, your first instinct is like,
it's not even your car that you were driving.
No, it's my grandma's.
So who cares?
But what I'm saying is, I don't think it's bad for your first instinct to be like, oh, shoot.
A selfish instinct,
my car is going to get damaged, you know?
Yeah. But no, that's not what I was saying at all. I was saying that guy would probably... The reason he would be worried or scared in that situation is because he thought you would be mad because I might damage the car.
I might open that car door and be like, what the hell happened?
I'm suing you for $1 million.
But no, so I remember, like, I wasn't worried about any of that. And I even, like, offered to take him to the hospital or something if he needed it.
Was he hurt at all or just...
If he was, he did not tell me. And he didn't look like, there wasn't like, oh, your arm's bending the wrong way or you're screaming in pain or something. He was just like, no, I'm sorry. And I'm like, you're fine. Are you okay?
30 seconds later, the shock wore off and he just collapsed on the ground.
I hope not, because I just drove away because I was in like the middle of the road. There were cars behind me.
Yeah.
So.
Did anyone have to stop?
What do you mean stop?
Like behind you because you were parked in the middle of the road?
Yeah, so I was parked in the middle of the road. And when he hit me, I immediately turned my emergency lights on, put it in park, and got out to check on him. And there was like one car behind me. So we were like stopped. It was only like 30 seconds. Because I got out and I'm like, you okay? You need to go to the hospital? And he's like, I'm okay. It just slipped.
I wonder what the car behind you was thinking.
Probably just, I assume they understood.
I'd be like, what a show.
Yeah, because they had a better view of it than I did, you know?
Yeah.
So, but that whole thought process has had me thinking. And I realized, and this isn't like me trying to sound like some holier than thou, such a good person, because I get very, very angry at other stuff too. I don't usually like blame people immediately unless it's very obviously like.
I'm trying to think if there's ever been any big times I've like really power tripped.
There's been a few times, you know. Like I remember, this is a good example. There was a Roblox thing. Just listen.
Okay.
There was this Roblox game, and it was just a house, but players they'd spawn, and there's a really easy obstacle course. They'd have to go through it, and then like press something, and they got admin privileges.
Okay.
So they could like fly and kill people and whatever else.
Oh my god.
And
you would be the kid to abuse that.
Oh yeah, I was, but I was also like 12, so I think there's some allowance there.
No,
probably not. But. And basically, you know, I got my grandma to like buy me Robux gift cards all the time. And you could just buy something that gave you that from the get-go. So you didn't have to do the obstacle course. The second you spawned in, you had the privileges.
Yeah.
And most people didn't do that. They either didn't know about it or whatever. And I used to power trip so hard. I'd like put people in like cages and be like, you have to do this if you want out.
Oh my god.
And it was like, you know, because it wasn't like I'm actually causing people harm or anything, but I was definitely ruining the game for some people, you know.
I'm sure I've had times like that.
Yeah, but and then there's like times where I'd be like, you guys can't have the privileges, just tell me what you want and I'll do it. Kind of like all the powers for me type thing. There is definitely a lot of that. If someone knows that obby, please like comment it. Because I'd love to like revisit that and like just think about it some more.
And go torture some more people.
Exactly.
Because I still have the admin privileges.
But no, there's a turnaround here.
All right.
There was, after a while, I got tired of doing that. And then I did try and like just get everybody the privileges as soon as possible. And then I just like absolutely butcher anyone who abused them. So I like to think that those little moments of like a power tripping stupid teenager
are over.
I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so.
I mean, I don't.
You don't sound confident. I hope so.
Well, like I said, absolute power absolutely corrupts.
Yeah.
So, like, if I suddenly got, like, godlike powers and could do whatever I wanted, I mean, I'd like to think I'd be pretty not terrible with them, but at the same time, it's like, if you live for such a long time, you're just going to get curious, you know?
Yeah.
It's like time loop logic. Like, how far into the time loop do you get before you're, like...
evil?
I don't even know if you, like, get evil at that point. Experimental is how I'd say it. Like, how long until you're like, what happens if I kill this person? Like, there's a really funny
That'd be
YouTube...
the one time you wake up the next day and it's actually tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. That,
You're
that
like,
terrified
crap!
me.
That'd be my biggest fear.
There's a really good... there's this YouTube channel called, like, Chris and Jack or something. And they had that in, like, a skit, you know?
What a stupid channel name.
It's actually the voice actor for Sokka.
Oh, really?
From Avatar Last Airbender is, like, I think Jack or Chris. I don't remember.
Huh.
But he's one of them. And I thought that was so crazy when I heard about that. But basically, they have that in, like, a skit where he's like, a guy's like, are you time looping right now? And he's like, yeah, I'm time looping. And he's like, oh my god, tell me all about it. He's like, well, this, and this. And then he's like, okay, well, anyways. And then he pulls out a knife, ready to kill the guy.
Oh my god.
And it's like, it's just a skit. It's for funnies, right?
Right.
But it just has me thinking, like, because I'm sure if I'm in a time loop, I would probably get to the point where I'm like, okay, I'm going to try killing somebody.
Would you ever try and kill me?
I'd probably want, like, your consent for it.
Would you ever get to the point if I didn't consent enough times, you were like, I'm going to do it anyway? And
I want to say no, but you can never know for sure. You know?
That's
like,
true.
I could very easily see
I'd probably kill you in the first loop.
you wouldn't even know it's a time loop. It's like, I just really want to kill Ethan today, man. I'm just craving that. No, but, like, you see what I mean? Where, like, I think power of that variety is, like, bound to do that. So...
I mean, especially when you're, like, consequence-free. That's why I like to tell myself, if I ever get, for whatever reason, filthy rich, I'm gonna try not to, like, spoil myself with, like, these ridiculously expensive, not necessary things.
Right.
Like, I don't need a mansion. I don't need a yacht. I don't need a $400,000 car, okay? I'll take a nice car. I'll take a nice house. I'll take, like, a boat dock and a tiny little boat, sure.
Yeah.
But I do not need these, like, insanely expensive things, you know?
I would probably, like, start lobbying politicians so they could pass rules that expressly benefit me like all the rich people do.
It's a really good idea.
Did you know? Okay, I didn't know about this. Then when we'll be done with this, okay? Sorry, I know you're tired of editing this, probably. But it's only really in America that you don't know exactly how much you owe in taxes from the get-go. Like, other countries, like, I think, like, France was an example I heard, and then, like, Britain and stuff. Like, when it comes tax season, they'll be like, hey, you owe this much. Okay, thanks. And then that's it.
The IRS is evil, bro.
Well, no, it's not even so much the IRS, it's lobbying. Which these tax companies, like TurboTax or whatever else, they'll basically lobby these politicians and say, hey, do not tell the people how much they owe. Let them pay us to figure it out. That's how that all works.
Makes sense.
So, America's pretty corrupt of a country when you really get down to brass tacks.
I'm sure most countries are, but America, being bigger, is naturally probably more corrupt than a lot of others.
Just, like, give people health care, and, like, that's, like, such a big thing you've already overcome, you know?
So, yeah, there's just so many political, like, sides with even that. It's like debatable, you know, and I'm so uneducated on it. I don't even want to say. Here's
how I look at it. Every time I hear comparisons of people who do have it and don't have it, and I've genuinely, like, looked into this because I do think it's an important topic to be knowledgeable about. Knowledgeable,
even though you'll never vote in your life.
Well, who's there to vote for that isn't terrible? If there's a candidate that isn't like some rich billionaire who does God knows what to get in power, then I'm all for it. But my point is like, you know, you hear about these countries like you know, that have, like, healthcare just as, like, a right. And it's like, if they can do that and there's still, like, not dying or being tortured or some other like terrible thing. It's like there's got to be a way to do it here that's not terrible.
I would agree with you if you phrased that way differently.
No, I know.
They're not in horrible, horrendous pain, so it has to be a good idea, right?
Like countries like France have like that guy who's like president there is
Doesn't
terrible.
Canada have it too?
I think Canada has free healthcare.
Free healthcare? I thought so.
But like the guy over there, like Trudeau, I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
And then in France, there's like macaron or whatever, which I think is funny because it's like those little cookies. But like those, I think pretty much everyone in those countries and outside of those countries hates that guy or those guys. But at the same time, it's like I'll hear people talk about like what it's like living in France and be like, yeah, it has its problems, but we get free healthcare and we have like a ton of time off that's like mandated. And also we know exactly how much we have to pay on our taxes and we don't have any gun violence. And I'm like, wow, it sounds so terrible.
I want to live in Norway.
You know what? Here's a genuine theory I have. I would not be surprised if these countries that do have like good healthcare and stuff like as a right and whatnot, just by base default or whatever, start banning Americans from immigrating there. I could genuinely see that. Because think of the influx.
Americanism.
No, but think of it, okay? Because you have like, I'm sure with how things are politically, a lot of people are liking America less and less. That's kind of a popular thing I've seen.
They hate the Sigma.
That's right. You got to be whatever you said, Sigma. But so I wouldn't be surprised if you start seeing like a flux of people leaving. Like I don't think that's the most unrealistic thing to expect. But at the same time, it's like I understand countries not wanting a ton of, new people who come from a place of ideologies you might not support coming in. That's like the whole like immigration thing just boiled down like as it is, whatever side you're on of that. But you know what I mean.
Sure.
I'm just saying I could understand how it's like, sorry, we don't want Americans here,
Honestly, especially like honestly in general, but especially like on a YouTube channel, I borderline just refuse to like make statements or even assumptions or like share opinions on like anything somewhat political, because honestly, I am not educated whatsoever. I don't know crap.
My only thing that I like want to take an actual stance on, I guess, not that it matters, it's a channel with like 3,000 subscribers, it's not that big a deal.
It's going to change the world.
But it's just like, I just feel like healthcare should be a right instead of something you pay for. Like, sure, anyone can go to the ER and have their broken leg fixed, but then you're in debt for the next 10 years if you don't have like insurance.
I mean,
and even then,
on one hand, like, yes, that would be nice, but someone's got to pay for that.
Yeah, but
and you know how many things America's already paying for?
Oh, I know. We give a lot of countries free money. I don't know if that's the best idea, but I'm not a big political guy.
Exactly. So that's why I'm not so sure. Like, hey, let's stack free healthcare on top of that right now.
No, but what I'm saying, like, I hear that like it gets taxed a lot more. Like your taxes will go up if you do that. But one last thing I'll say, and then it's done. I always hear people say they don't want to get taxed more. But I've seen like statistics shown, like actual, funded statistics, like, hey, we researched this, where it'll show like there's still more take-home money that you earn, even with that higher tax bracket.
It could be,
with countries
if you do pay higher taxes for something like free healthcare, then you don't have to pay for
it's just healthcare. It's logic like that with like some of those other European countries.
I mean, a lot of these things make sense, but every opinion will always make sense coming from someone who agrees with that opinion.
Exactly.
So that's why, genuinely, I don't have an opinion one way or the other, unless I'm very, very educated on both sides of the spectrum. Otherwise, I'm not even going to tell you. Like,
I don't mind talking about it.
It goes with any topic. Some are easier because they're just, you don't need to be that educated to talk about certain things.
Yeah, like, I think the healthcare one's fine, but, like, I'm not going to start getting into,
I wouldn't even go into healthcare, personally, because there's just so many, like, You got to know who's paying for that. How much does it cover? Who gets coverage? Do all the illegal immigrants get coverage on that too? Like, there's so many speculations and parts where it can just go off into like different branches and stuff. And it's like, I don't know.
I guess for me, it's less like, I think America should do this and more like, I wish I lived somewhere that had it all figured out already, you know?
Yeah.
That's more how I see it. Sorry if you don't like the politically charged discussions, but I think it's kind of interesting to get into it.
It's not like we really stated any opinions.
All I said is I think people shouldn't pay an arm and a leg to fix their arm and legs. That's what I think.
I do. I have heard just that it's insanely priced over here. I mean, you see it. You see people be like, no, do not call me an ambulance. I will walk on my broken leg.
I mean, yeah, if I didn't, like, I think I have, like, some, like, really, like, cover all type insurance because of, like...
And, like, pharmaceuticals. Have you seen how much some of those cost?
Oh, my God, yeah. There was one guy from work who was... Actually, no, I'm not going to say that. Cut that part out. That might get him in some trouble. But, yeah, I don't know. It's all just so expensive, and it's insane. And that's just my only problem with it, is it's expensive. If it was cheap and, like, everybody could afford it, then I think it'd be fine. It's like the same with like college. It's like,
I guess
college costs so much money, and it's like, does it need to, or are corporations getting greedy? I'm not anti-government or pro-government, but I'm very anti like monopolies, I would say.
Okay.
I don't like dude. Okay, there's the Nestle company owns like
Nestle.
Nestle, is that how you say it?
Yes,
okay.
Nestle.
I saw this one thing where it's like the Nestle company owns like a ton of food stuff, right? But their CEO is like, I don't think water's a human right. It was like a quote from a long time ago. It might not be the current.
It was a human
CEO.
right back when we were cavemen. What has happened? Is society supposed to improve?
So it's like I said, you know, I don't think you can be a billionaire CEO like that and not have made some morally terrible calls.
Yeah, at least for like businesses, I agree.
Right, for businesses. If you like inherited a bunch of money.
Probably politicians too.
Oh yeah.
Because why should a politician be paid that much? Well, they don't get paid that much. Where's all your money coming from?
From anonymous donors.
Interesting. No, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say I'm just anti-billionaires pretty much. That's how I'm with it.
The problem is some of these issues only really affect some people. Like, if I had zero healthcare, unless something horrendous happened to me, I'd remain like largely unaffected, right? But it's the people that like are born with like diabetes and they are dependent on insulin, and now they have to pay $5 million a month for insulin.
Yeah, insulin costs
I want free healthcare.
If you look up, like I've seen another like a whole video about this. Insulin costs like $4 to make.
Yeah, and I've heard stuff like that.
They charge like $500 a pop for it.
No so it's doctors make so much money. That's another thing. Doctors get paid so much in America, but if you go over to like Britain, I mean, they still get paid more than like your average Joe for sure.
I would still like. I think it could be the same with like those tax bracket things we said. Like once it balances out, it balances out.
Yeah.
You know, and at the same time, I don't know. Some of that stuff just seems so unfair. You hear about people who are like drowning in like medical debt because they happen to get hit by a car one day.
Yeah, that would suck to just be ruined the rest of your life because an accident, you know?
That's why I just feel like a lot of it is like a system you're forced to play, and if you don't, you still lose. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It gets to the point where it doesn't quite sound like the word human right applies anymore. You know what I mean?
I agree with you, but
I just think people should not be treated terribly, and all these corporations probably shouldn't have this massive amount of power and say.
There's always going to be countries that have it better than others. I mean, America has.
I know. I want to go there.
I know.
That's where I want to go.
America has a lot better than some other countries too.
Well, it's true. I'm not going to say anything else.
Can you imagine living in like?
A lot of the Middle East has
Britain?
a ton of wars going. Did you say Britain?
Yeah.
Britain, I don't think sounds too bad.
Yeah, just kidding.
But
like anywhere in the Middle East, a lot of African countries.
You know what?
North Korea.
I saw this interesting video. It might have been a short for all I know, so don't like take it as pure science or whatever.
I don't take anything I see on the internet as pure anything.
True, but it does have to come from somewhere. But it was like, I think if you looked at like Africans who like did live in like what you would consider really poverty, terrible like places compared to where we're living at, there was still like less depression rates and stuff amongst them.
They're less spoiled.
Well, that's what I mean. I almost wonder if it's like
I do think having like better technology and stuff is bad for a lot of people.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, if having everything so like grandly connected and like you have to work for this company 9 to 5 versus you got to go get water for the villager, you know, that's a really simple way of putting it.
Yeah.
But
and it's, you can't really say with a straight face like they're better off than we are.
No, but I do wonder if there is this like because humans are still in like caveman monkey brain.
I mean, yeah, it hasn't even been that long since we were like building pyramids and like...
Yeah, if you look at like the, you know, a species takes like millions of years to evolve from one to another. So if you look at like the grand timetable of where humans are at compared to when they kind of first appeared,
yeah,
like we're so young compared to how far we've come.
True.
So our brains haven't caught up with like the society we've built for ourselves. So I almost wonder, like, if in a really backwards way you were to kick everyone
living
back
in a cyberpunk society.
No, I don't know what you said. But if you were to kick everyone back to like a Stone Age thing, if they would technically be happier.
I think if they were born there.
Yeah, maybe if you're born there.
Now that we've like gotten so spoiled on like, I can pull up all the information in the world on my phone brick in 0.5
And I'm still
seconds.
watching Lethal Company YouTube shorts instead.
Like, I feel insanely like pathetic when like my phone takes longer to load than usual and I get mad over it. Because it's like, oh no, all the information in the world at my fingertips, and it didn't load in 0.5 seconds.
20 years ago, we didn't have that.
Yeah, it's
you
like...
know? Or not as quickly.
And I see with so many people, they get so mad at technology, and it's like, this is like the best thing ever you have right here, and you're just like forsaking it right now.
Yeah, I try not to get like too frustrated with things with that.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I can say my frustration only really comes from other people annoying me compared to the things I should appreciate.
Maybe you wouldn't make a good caveman then.
No, I'd definitely be like Uruk-tuk, who just bashes people on the head when they're annoyed.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, Ethan, I don't have as many berries for you today. And I'm like, well, I kill you now.
Be the random shaman that no one goes near.
You ever play like Far Cry Primal? You know,
I loved Far Cry Primal.
You know how there's that one guy who's like the bad eyeball who's just an absolute warlord?
Yeah.
I feel like maybe that'd just be me. It's like, sorry, I need a mammoth tusk for a cool chair, but you don't have it, I kill you.
That's going to do it for this episode, everybody. Let's at least finish this dialogue. Go
sure.
secret here.
Right, let's take a look inside.
Okay, and we will in the next... No, don't go in there!
Don't you, man, no!
I'm not ready!
End the episode right now!